Okay, so welcome to the GIS FIG spring program. We're going to be talking about redistricting, presented by Jerry Aiken and Mackenzie O'Brien from Esri. And we're trying to do with these online programs to kind of fill in that program void that we're having. You should have seen a announcement that we are going to have a limited conference in the fall. So look for more information on that in the upcoming weeks and months. So with that, I will pass over to Jerry to start the presentation.
Thank you, Justin. I appreciate that. Folks, I'm going to give you a warning right now. I'm having some sort of really strong Wi-Fi interference going on. So I may drop off in and out. I hope it's not that garbled. If it is, someone just send me a chat and say, slow down. That seems to work the best. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to introduce you to Mackenzie O'Brien, is a redistricting specialist, software specialist out of our Redlands office. And she'll be joining me in this conversation. And would someone please verify that you're seeing a slide with a sort of painting on it?
Not yet.
No, not yet. How about now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you all. So real quickly, I'm pretty sure I know most of you all on the line, but just in case, I'm Gerard Aiken. I'm the Esri local government account manager for upstate New York. And it's been my pleasure for the last 3 years to get to know a lot of you, work with you, bring the power of GIS to you as much as possible, and learn a lot from y'all and how you do things and how you want to do things and move forward. So my email will be at the end of the call. I am new to redistricting myself, so this has been a learning process for me. But this is a really nice, powerful tool that we're going to go ahead and jump into. I'm going to give you a couple of slides on what redistricting is about, what the solution is about, and then Mackenzie is actually going to step you through a quick demo. This tool is really built for the layperson. You don't need a GIS person to be running this. You do not need a specialist. It is really built for a layperson, for a county administration, for a redistricting officer, elections officer, someone to use this. They don't need a lot of GIS skill. You know who Esri is. If you're on this call, you know who we are. Thank you very much for your business. Thank you very much for your continued business. So I'm not going to go into that too much. Let's save some time. Let's talk about Esri Redistricting itself. So give me 1 second here. So Esri Redistricting is our secure web-based environment for governments, advocates, citizens to complete and share our regulation compliant plans. And those will bring clarity and community involvement to the redistricting process. It's based on our proven ArcGIS platform. The Esri Redistricting provides comprehensive tools for a sort of end-to-end redistricting workflow. And with that, you can perform plan creation, plan management, visualization, editing, and then it also enables for a easy stakeholder collaboration. And I'm just trying to move windows here so I can see things a little better. All right. So to start off, let's look at why we built the Esri Redistricting solution. Since redistricting is spatially, is inherently, pardon me, a spatial challenge. We face it on regular intervals, and the creation of an approval of plans is a complex journey. It takes a lot of collaboration with legislators on both sides, government staff, consultants, advocacy and community groups. And then you have your citizens as well, all wanting to have a say in the process. This has always been a challenging communication gap existed between these groups, and the staff coordination is really high when you come to this program. It is you need to have everybody on the same page. The problem with that is a lot of people view it as a black box, don't really know what's going in, and oftentimes don't understand what's coming back to them. And that's one of the bigger challenges. So the effort has historically involved numerous town hall meetings to get input from your citizens, and a lot of presentations of maps, usually for the public, just to give their feedback so that they feel that they have a say in that process and to eliminate some of that mystery of that black box. That being said, the process has always remained unclear to many, resulting in miscommunication, general dissatisfaction over the redistricting process. People just don't understand why decisions are being made or how the maps are being drawn. And you know this, as soon as you say GIS, people seem to fuzz out anyway. And so with such loosely understood requirements, it's crucial that governments not only communicate the reasons why they're doing things to the public, but also get input on the makeup of the community in question. And that's why this acts as, and this is why we built Esri Redistricting, so as a web application, so it's easy to use and to make it sort of available. All right. So like I said earlier, we're going to talk real quick. It's built on the top of the ArcGIS platform. It provides a comprehensive data sources, or contains comprehensive data sources and tools for that plan creation, management, visualization, editing, and collaboration. The three main sources of data in the redistricting solution include the demographic data, geographic, and any overlay data. The census provides both the demographic and geographic source data, and we process it into map services that are consumed by the application. We currently provide 2010 data, and the 2020 data should be available. Mackenzie will back me up on this and give me a date probably any minute now, basically. So having been built on top of the ArcGIS platform, there's a wealth of extra data that can be overlaid from sites such as the Living Atlas, your own county data, or custom data from advocacy groups or government groups. And it's just a little slow. There we go. So there are three ways to deploy the Esri Redistricting solution. There is the SaaS, or online version. It's focused on a single desktop user. It's targeted at counties or cities. It's available for purchase in the digital marketplace now, less than $4,500 per New York State contract. And custom data is usable for visualization tools only, no reporting off of custom data. You can deploy it in a enterprise fashion in one of two ways, or the other models. It's the same app, but you can deploy it on-prem or in the cloud and utilize Portal. It's focused on organizations wanting to collaborate or have multiple people submit plans. So if you have an election board that wants all 12 people to submit their own plans, this would be where you would have to go with it. It's available through a professional services implementation package, and that is scale dependent upon the size, of course. So we would have to talk about that and scale that out. But custom data can be used in your planning and reporting tools with the on-prem or cloud enterprise deployment. Most of the people at the county level in New York would be looking at the SaaS subscription. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop my share, and I'm going to introduce Mackenzie O'Brien, and ask her to go ahead and run you through a quick demo. That'll take probably 15 to 20 minutes, and we'll leave plenty of time for questions.
Great, thanks, Jerry. Are you seeing my screen with the Esri Redistricting application?
Yes, we are. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you so much. Okay, so this is what we call the front door to the redistricting application. If you choose to go the enterprise route, you have the ability to change any of this to comply with your organizational branding standards. You can change this logo, change this from saying Esri Redistricting to perhaps whatever the name of your county is, redistricting, change this background image back here, any of that. You also have the ability to open this up to the public and give them the chance to come in and create accounts. So they would just have to come in here, fill out first name, last name, email address, username, and a password. However, since I have an account, I'm going to log in really quickly. So over here, I can see any of the plans that I've recently opened or created, as well as any plans that have been shared with me, either in any groups that I'm a part of or to everyone in my instance. I also have the ability to open a local plan that I've saved to my machine, or import a plan that's been saved in a fixed text format or a shapefile. However, I'm just going to go in and create a new plan. Over here, I have the ability to change the nomenclature of the district to any of these below. It is just a nomenclature change, does not affect anything behind the scenes. Over here, I can change the number of districts, anywhere up to about 2,000, but for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to keep it at 2 for this demonstration. I can also change the maximum deviation, which is usually something that's set by law. Again, for the purposes of this presentation, just going to keep it set at 10%. And then over here, you can choose from either 2010 or 2000 data. And once 2020 data is available in around August, they'll have an extra toggle over there for that 2020 data. I'm going to jump in and just use Genesee County as an example for this demonstration. And then within here, I have the ability to choose from 2 different data hierarchies, either county tract block, or county VTD block. Next, I have the ability to change the color of any of these districts. So I can change this to purple, for instance. And then over here, I have the ability to bring in different demographic variables. I can either bring in an entire set, or I can choose them one by one. I can also create custom variables. So for this example, I'll just be calculating the deviation. And I'll use these available fields up here to guide my equation. And once I hit done, all of those variables that I've added will populate down here in what we call the district window. And those numbers will adjust on the fly as I add different geographies to different districts. So I'll just call this example and save it. So this is based on the Microsoft paradigm. So the thought is that as long as the user moves from left to right and then top to bottom, they will be able to create a complete and legitimate plan. Over here on this first tab, the File tab, we have the ability to create a new plan, open a previously made plan, save the plan under a different name, archive the plan to a zip file, save the plan locally to my machine, and then perhaps send it to a colleague and have them open it locally within the application. I have the ability to print the plan or print a plan book. A plan book not only prints an overview map of all districts, but then a map of each district individually. I have the ability to import either using a fixed text format or a shapefile, and then export in those same formats along with an image or KML. Next, we have the Learn tab, which was created in 2010 after we got a number of requests from customers who wanted in-person training. As soon as we created this, those requests went away. So as long as the user moves through this tab, they should be able to feel confident in their ability to use the software. Under the View tab, I have the ability to change the number of districts on the fly. So if I've overestimated or underestimated, I can simply change that just by moving these toggles up and down. I can also show target values, which would be the amount of people in each district, given that they were perfectly balanced. Next, over here, I just have a couple display tools. So I can have all of the districts appear in this blue unassigned color. I can choose to only display lines or go back to fill. If I lock any geographies or any districts from being changed, I can either choose to display those locks or not. I can choose to display the names of the districts or give them a short name that I've chosen, or show a district field, which is the total number of people given at a current time in that district, shown under the name. Next, I have the ability to swap districts. So for example, if I've created districts 1 and 2, and I've created district 2 in the north, but it needs to be in the south, I can simply go in and swap the locations of district 1 and 2. And that will only change the names, not the underlying geography. Next, I have the ability to go in and modify districts. So I can change any of these except for the ID number. So I can change the long name, short name, target value, and change the number of representatives if that's irrelevant. Next, I have the ability to work on what are called regional plans. So for example, if you have someone who's only comfortable working on maybe the northern portion of a county, and someone who's only comfortable working on the southern portion of a county, you can break it out into those two and have them work on them separately and then bring them back together with this View Regional button. The district window pops out that attribute table at the bottom of the screen into a separate window, giving you a little bit more real estate for the map. And then once I close it, it simply pops back to where it was before. Moving on to the Create tab, which is probably the tab you'll spend the most time in the application. We have the ability to bring in more demographics if you'd like to do that. We also have a number of different selection methods for adding geographies to districts. So of course we have select by attribute, but we also have select by location. So I have the ability to come in here and create a SQL query, but then also limit the area to which I am selecting from by drawing a rectangle or a polygon. So only geographies that match that SQL query and that are within this rectangle would be selected. Next, we have a couple more manual methods of assigning geographies. So I can select by point, rectangle, polygon, or polyline. I can also assign entire towns. So I will go over here and just look for Corfu, for example. Choose to show that, and then I can assign that to District 1. I can also bring in external layers. So for example, if I want to bring in school districts, I can either search through ArcGIS Online and bring in any relevant layers, or I can bring in a REST URL. Copy and paste that, add it in, go over to the Identify tab, select that I'd like to identify from this layer, identify whichever school district, and then assign all of the blocks from within that school district to District 1. Up here we have the scale bar, so each of these red bars corresponds to a level of geography shown down here below. So county, tract, block group, and then block is represented by an invisible one down there as it is the smallest level of geography. And then this yellow bar represents the scale that you're at. So for example, if I'd like to view blocks at this level, I can simply move this over, and then it will show blocks at this level as opposed to block groups. Next, we have the option to change base maps. I'm just going to turn off the background layer real quick so we have a bit better view of that. But if you're familiar with ArcGIS Online, these will all look familiar to you. So if you like a more minimalistic look, you can go with the light gray canvas. You can use imagery if you'd like that to guide you, or just the default street view, whichever one is your preference. We also have the ability to bring in thematic maps. So for example, I can come in here and enable this, and this will show me the amount of people in whatever geography scale that I'm zoomed into. And you can do that for any of the demographic sets that are available to you within the software. Moving over to the Review tab, I'm just going to hop over to a plan that I made previously. with the just about perfectly balanced 2-district plan of Genesee County again. I have the ability to view a plan histogram, which shows the demographic breakdown across districts for any of the demographics that I've chosen to display. Same thing here, just in a pie chart format. And then the district distribution shows the demographic breakdown across a particular district. I can run a number of different compactness tests that have all been approved by the DOJ. And if I need a little bit more information on any of them, I can simply hover over them for some more information. This also shows any holes, so any areas that have been unassigned within a district or that are discontiguous from the larger part. I can also do that here in the check integrity button. So this will run through 6 key integrity tests that we require to submit a plan and ensure the plan is complete and legitimate. So we can see here that I've got 2 errors. So I'll just zoom to this one and assign this to District 1 real quick. And then I can see that District 2 has 2 parts. So I'll zoom to District 2, the larger part, and then it takes me to the smaller one as well. And I'll just assign that to District 1. And then once I close out, it will run all those integrity tests again, just to make sure that my efforts have remedied the errors. Next, I'll hop over to just an example plan with the fire districts from Genesee County. I can run a number of different reports on any of the plans that I've created. So I won't read these all out to you, but I'll just go through 2 of them. So I've run these on the fire districts here. So over here, we have the assigned district splits, which breaks down the FIPS codes that are part of each district and the demographics within each of those FIPS codes, and then gives a summary of the demographics across that entire district. We also have the bill text report. So this is something that a county government request as a response to redistricting. And this just breaks down all of the different tracks, block groups, blocks, et cetera, that are a part of each district. Moving over to the share tab, we have, back to the review tab, we have the ability to run comparison plans. So for example, if I've made a slight change to a particular plan, I can bring that in and see the differences. Ooh, I think I opened the wrong one there. I'm on this one. So for example, I've made a slight change to the fire districts here, and I can see that based on just this slight hatch up here, indicating that there's been a change in the 2 plans. And I can view the numerical differences coming down here and seeing a plus or minus sign, as well as this color coding to indicate a positive or negative change. Over here, I have the ability to attach files to a particular plan. So for example, I want to bring in a Word document explaining some of my choices and why I've chosen to assign certain geographies to a particular district. I can add that here. Under the plan information, I can write a description, list my organization, state, year I've created the plan, and then any analysis that I've done. Under here, I can add comments or allow other users to add comments. So I can write good plan, for example, add that in here, and it will track the date that I made that comment, my name, and then of course the comment. I can also view the access log, which allows me to see who has done what and when. We have 3 different options to publish ArcGIS online, either through a plan package, KML, or feature layer. Within the application, I can share the plan to either everyone who's a member of the same instance or any groups that I'm a member of. And I can also choose to grant them only read access or give them the ability to read and change the plan. Over here, I have the ability to manage plans, so I can come in, create plans, or create groups and edit the properties of any groups that I've created. I can see any groups that I've been invited to here, and go in and edit my profile here. I'm just going to jump back over to that 2-district plan I created a bit earlier. Just talk you through the submission process. So over here, when I click to submit, it will prompt me to save if I haven't saved it yet. And then it will run through those integrity tests one last time. This prevents people from submitting any sort of bogus plans. And then it prompts me to fill out some of this information, some of it's auto-filled. Then I prompted to submit the plan, notified that I can't make any changes once I submit it, And then I get a notice that it has been successfully submitted, and I will get a confirmation email as well. So with that, I'll pass it back over to Jerry, and then if anyone has any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
All right. So I guess we can just go right into the questions right now, if anybody has any.
Well, nobody posted any in the chat, but if you do have any, you can post them right there. I have one question, especially with the integrity checks. In Monroe County, there's a couple weird features where part of like a creek bed, even though it goes through a different town, is part of the city. So it's a city district. So it usually cuts that town into multiple pieces. How does that work with the integrity checks?
Mackenzie, that one's yours.
Can you explain a little bit more?
So the city and the city boundary, it has one road, a creek, and a railroad bed. And basically they split towns because the city, it's the city boundary, but it splits the town in half, basically.
Okay. So yeah, we don't have any integrity tests that require that a town not be split in half. So it's totally fine if you split towns in half, in particular, in a lot of states and like larger counties, that has to be done anyway. So we don't require that as one of our integrity tests.
Yeah, no, but usually split the district because it's just like a street or a one riverbed, even though, and it's small. So basically the district would be on one side and the other side.
Okay, that should be fine then.
Okay.
And Mackenzie, is that because it operates off of a data field or feature attribute?
Yes, so streams are considered census geographies as well. So we will accept we would require you to assign a stream to a particular geography. And so that would count as it being assigned to a district.
Okay. Well, see, there's something I learned. Thank you. Justin, did that help?
I think so. I just know that was something when I did the redistricting for the county, you know, like with the last one, that was an issue. And I was like, no, I'm going to cut the census block at that point at the actual city boundary. So I had contiguous polygons.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
a recommendation, download the 21-day free trial and focus in on that spot and see what you come up with.
Yeah. So, but if nobody has posted any questions in the chat.
Okay.
So,
well, just real quick, why don't I just review these takeaways and then talk about the redistricting blog then. So just to make sure everybody understands it's open and transparent and should provide that web-based environment, the ability to collaborate on plans and engage the communities, and then bring clarity to that redistricting process. That's really been the thorn in the side for how many 100+ years is, you know, where's the clarity? Where can we see what's been done? Where's the history? What was it before? What is it now? Why are we changing versions? So forth. That's really probably one of the biggest keys. And then there's a Esri Redistricting blog post out there written by Richard Ledbetter, who's one of our key market leadership. And it's very, very informative. So if you are looking at redistricting in your county right now, please go out and take a gander at that and read that. And I guess just let me know if you have any questions afterwards.
Okay, so we have one question.
Okay.
Is the recommendation feature, in other words, what the software suggests for a new district or changes?
We do not have anything like that, just because we kind of are really into kind of having people go in and actually really into kind of like the human aspect of it, people actually going in and creating those districts. So we have kind of shied away from that because we do respect the fact that we prefer to have the humans actually going in and making those decisions.
Yeah, avoiding that black box concept.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
You're welcome, Jim.
Okay.
Okay, I guess with that, well, in the program was recorded and will be up on the GISSIG website later today. And look for the summer program, which will be hopefully posted in the next week or so. Which will also be online. So, contact info.
Real simple. And let me see if I did it. Usually I do. There you go. Mine is gaikin@esri.com. And Mackenzie's is just as difficult, if not a little bit more, with the M_O'Brien.
Someone stole M O'Brien.
So if you want to reach out, feel free. Also, Mark Scott could support you if you know Mark or you have his email. He was not able to make it today because he's playing golf in North Carolina right now. And I'm bitter. So, well, thank you everybody for your time and your attention, and I appreciate it. Jim, no, not good for Mark. Sorry. If you need anything, just let me know. Mackenzie, thank you much for your continued support in New York. I appreciate it greatly.
Of course, anytime.
All right.
Thank you so much for presenting.
No problem. Thank y'all.
Thanks for having us. Bye.
All right.